We got some brand new gameplay for the feature that I'm most excited about for Dawn of Ragnarok, the arena. We got a first look at how the system is going to work, plus I learned some cool new details. Odin is also using some brand new abilities in this DLC that I want to look at and talk about. I also learned more about a brand new rarity and Odin runes. We just got a ton of new info about this expansion that is of course launching on March 10th. So I want to get into it. Of course, if you enjoy the Valhalla content here on the channel, then leaving a like on this video would really help me out. And let's go. So there will be a quest that can lead you to the arena, or you can actually find Kara in the world yourself when exploring Svartalfheim. She's one of Odin's Valkyries and is open to some tales about your victories that will then be recreated in the arena. So after a small introduction, we see a familiar menu where we can tell a tale, so start one of the challenges, but also see her shop. We sadly have no footage of this shop yet, but this is where we should be able to get the Odin Allfather armor, at least according to leaks from Andy Reloads. And we of course have seen this armor in all the Dawn of Ragnarok footage, including with the hood on in a recent trailer. I also learned that we should get gear. There are some runes, cool stuff, very cool according to the creative director. It makes you play the other content differently and maybe has you come back to the arena as well. So it seems like the weapons we saw briefly in that recent trailer are earned through different ways, but the rune part is interesting because Dawn of Ragnarok will introduce so-called Odin runes, which we can socket in divine quality gear and weapons. And we actually got a first look at this new divine quality thanks to Gamerlil Games, who was also kind enough to share some English shots with me. So don't let me know what you think of the green-blue color. I kinda like the icons this way. And this, by the way, a brand new armor set we can get in Dawn of Ragnarok. We saw it in the trailer briefly too, and it will be a fun challenge as our health is limited to 33%, so that's similar to the cursed items we had in Origins and Odyssey, and our evasion is nullified. Plus, as you can see as the full set bonus, we also take some damage every few seconds. So there must be a reason why we have to wear this outfit, otherwise you would never put it on. But yeah, I'm up for it. So let's again go back to the divine rarity, because the upgrade levels remain the same, still 10. But the biggest change is that the major rune slot is gone for a brand new Odin rune slot. And these runes sound very interesting. They should namely give extra effects or even change the Odin powers in special ways. We already went over all the Odin powers in the DLC in a previous video. I will link to that at the end of this one. So let's say if you, for example, like the power of Jotunheim, which also lets you teleport to special nodes after shooting your bow, then you can slot one of these Odin runes in to enhance this power in special ways. I did not hear any examples yet, so I don't know how big the impact will be, but I really hope it adds some cool twist to the already cool looking powers. But one important thing to know is that the runes that impact the Odin powers only work in Svartalfheim, as you can only use these brand new powers in this realm. However, and this according to the developers, there are a few more runes that are going to focus on Odin's godly aspects. I'm not going to spoil what the effects of those are going to be, so I will leave it for players to discover. But those effects are going to be usable both in Svartalfheim and inside the normal world. So on paper, this should really impact build combinations and variety, and there might be a choice, like do you want to upgrade your item to change the major rune out for an Odin rune or not? I'm going to keep my expectations low though, because the last time Ubisoft added new runes with the Siege of Paris DLC, it was a big letdown. Like, these runes did not really change that much at all. So we will have to wait and see, but I'm holding my fingers crossed. We will at least need a good loadout during these arena fights. There were only 3 available in the menu I got to see, with Kara's pick being a special challenge where she selects the enemies and debuffs we have to use, but completing this should give us a lot of tokens we can exchange for items in the shop. But the regular challenges work a bit different. Here we select the enemies we want to fight, and then in the next menu select the boats. So again, basically debuffs you want to apply. We now see that there are 14 in total, and the more you use at the same time, the higher the reward. And we can also apply 14 at the same time, which should be totally crazy. Only 2 are unlocked now, one where enemies cannot be stunned and are hard to interrupt, except with hammers and flails. So you're kind of forced to use these less popular weapons, which I like. I totally think Mjolnir will be great here. And we also see ability trade-off, where every time when you use an ability, an enemy attacks temporarily deals more damage to you. So spamming abilities is less ideal when you activate this one. I really like the sound of this. It will totally push you to play the game differently. And again, there are 12 other ones as well we can find by exploring Svartalfheim. A cool twist is that you are enticed to try different challenges with different bows, because if you repeat the same challenge you just did, your reward will be significantly less. We actually also see that in the third tip in the menu right here. I'm only afraid that this one arena location will get old after some time, especially because there's a high chance that they will actually support this feature post-launch with hopefully new encounters and rewards. And we, by the way, see Odin use some of the new abilities in this lava arena. There will be 4 we can find in the DLC, and while you take the Odin powers from fallen enemies, these regular abilities will once again be earned through books of knowledge. And another big difference is that while the Odin powers are of course exclusive to Svartalfheim, these regular abilities can also be used in other regions of the world, and the effects will also be different if you use them in the mythical worlds versus England or other real world areas. We see one example of a new ability in the menu called Rage X, and there will, by the way, be multiple ranks for these abilities too, which is nice. So when you activate this, you do a sort of overpower attack from the previous games, only now we see Odin perform this special thunder effect in the arena too, which you have to do with the right trigger at the right time, and this will also cost an extra adrenaline bar. Well, if you use the ability in England, we do not see the thunder appear, so likely meaning that all these abilities will not have their magical effects when you use them in main game areas. So we don't have the names of the other abilities yet, but we do have some small footage. Ubisoft recorded. The other melee ability has a jump icon, and as you basically jump backwards and then also call a thunder down on the enemy, stunning them for quite some time, as we see the Muspel down on the ground for a pretty long time. For ranged, we got something I will now just call multi-thunder arrow, where you load up a lot of shock arrows that deal damage to enemies in a nice radius in front of you and also apply the thunder effect. So this of course new, and we also saw the frost effect briefly in the trailer. So curious if we will also get weapons or other perks with these effects in the future. I think we got both ranks for the final ranged ability. Let's call it pushback arrow. The ability on rank 1 seems to sometimes instantly kill an enemy or otherwise stun them, so you can just walk up to them and take them out with a stun attack, while the upgraded version seems to actually push enemies back and also apply that shock effect. And I think this one looks quite nice. I always kind of liked the abilities from the paid content, and these seem kind of fun as well. If you, by the way, want to see the new arena and exploration gameplay without any commentary, I put it up on my second channel. We'll leave a link to it in the pinned comment. And in the pinned comment, you will also find a link to the All Odin Power video. Just subscribe overall for everything Valhalla. Got another cool video coming very soon. As you might know, that one is focused on the brand new skills that were added. Of course, a like on the video would really help me out. And totally check out our update video as well on the recent update, things they changed and added, and way more. For now, though, I will speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.